Okay, people. So we have got Sofia Coppola's new film, Priscilla. You know what I mean? She wrote and directed it, and it's based on the 1985 memoir from Priscilla Presley and Sandra Harmon. Right, the film is produced by Lorenzo Miley, Yuri Henley, and Coppola. It's executive produced by Roman Coppola, Chris Hatcher, Priscilla Presley, Fred Ross, and Eliza. Um, Eliza Tate is associate producer, along with Haley Brown and Lisa Antonescia. It is co-produced by Charles Finch and Bumble Ward. Phoenix handles the music, right? Philippe Lesoud is on cinematography. Sarah Flack edits the piece. Casting handled by Courtney Bright, John Buckham, Nicole Daniels, and Jason Knight. Production design is from Tamara DeVille. Art direction, Danny Haberlin. Set decoration is Patricia Cuccia. Costume design is Stacy Batatat. Okay, so our cast. The role of Miss Presley, Priscilla, is played by Cailee Spaeny. Right, Elvis is played by Jacob Elordi, right? I think that's how you say it. Captain Baloo, Priscilla's dad, is played by Ari Cohen. Her mother, Anne, is played by Dagmara Dominikovic. We have got Vernon Presley, played by Tim Post. That's Elvis's dad. His grandma, Dodger, is played by Lynn Griffin. We've got Joe, played by Dan Burney. Alan Hoggiers is played by Rodrigo Fernandez-Stoll. Jerry is played by Dan Ambrom, Dan Abramovich. Charlie is played by Matthew Shaw. Red is played by Tim Dowler Coltrane. Larry is played by A. Austin Ball. Alberta is played by Olivia Barrett. D is played by Stephanie Moore. Terry West is played by Luke Humphrey. Carol West is played by Deanna Jarvis. Patsy is played by Georgie Cadance. Becky is played by Josette Halpert. Mike Stone, Evan Anest. Right. Don Ballou, I think that was Priscilla's brother. It's played by Daniel Lipka. Lisa Marie Presley is played by Rain Monroe Bolland and Emily Mitchell. I think they're probably our main characters. A younger version of Elvis is played by Preston Galley. Okay, yes. Right, so the gist of the tale is when teenage Priscilla Beaulieu meets Elvis Presley at a party, the man who is already a meteoric rock and roll superstar becomes someone entirely unexpected in private moments. A thrilling crush, an ally in loneliness, a vulnerable best friend. Through Priscilla's eyes, Sofia Coppola tells the unseen side of a great American myth in Elvis and Priscilla's long courtship and turbulent marriage, from a German army base to his dream world estate at Graceland. In this deeply felt and ravishingly detailed portrait of love, fantasy, and fame. So it feels like ages since I've seen a Sofia Coppola film. I think The Beguiled was the last one. I missed um the On the Rocks, I think it is. I missed that one. Um so yeah, it's always interesting. It's always interesting to see what she's got. And this one, because I really liked oh gosh, what was the name of the film? It was like nothing really happens in it, but I thought it was so captivating. It's the kind of thing that I do enjoy. Oh god, Somewhere. Yes, I really enjoyed Somewhere 2010, right? Uh But this one, right? There's a lot about Elvis, but I didn't really know the ins and out of the relationship. I knew, Priscilla was ridiculously young, right? Underage when they met. And it's just like, how does that work? Right? How does that work? I'd forgotten he was in the army, right? I didn't know they met in Germany. So all of this comes to light. Now it opens up and we just see feet, right? There's these manicured, I feel they're manicured. It looked like the toes had toe polish, the stuff on your toenails, right? It looked like they were, done. I don't know. It's hard to see that kind of fine detail. But we see these feet walking along um, on carpet, and then someone doing their eyes, putting on eyelashes, so we get this kind of beauty regime. But then we cut and we've got a girl in a diner, right? It's Priscilla. It's in a diner and a guy comes up to her, Terry West. And he's like, oh, hey, I've seen you in here. Do you know Elvis Presley? And it's just like he's inviting her to Elvis's house for a party. Now, Priscilla looks super young. I think when Elvis meets her initially, she's 14. I feel in the film they said 15, but I've read it was 14. Um, but here's the thing, right? Cailee Spaeny is actually 25, right? She's actually 25, but she looks super young in this film. I mean, it's a testament to be able to do that, right? But you just think, that's the thing. You see a little girl, right? A 14-year-old, she's a little girl, right? So just the notion of inviting this girl to a party is insane. Insane. Right? But I think the big thing, they're in Germany, right? So they're on base. There's only so many people there, right? And probably only so many young people, right? And girls, I imagine, right? So yeah, and Americans, right? Because I think he says to her, oh, there's these other girls here. None of them are American, right? So, the base, you imagine there's probably Brits, French, just all the allies up in the spot. So, yeah, they're at this party and we see him talking with her, and, they're both isolated. That's what we're being told, right? So you can see how a connection could be wrought there. And I think Coppola does a very good job of showing all of that, right? But I think, yeah, it's super weird, right? It is super weird, but you see the attraction, and it's really an incredible job of that, of showing these moments and the magnitude of those moments to Priscilla, walking into the house and then catching, Elvis, seeing him there, and just the awe on her face, right? After they kiss the first time, we have her go like in school, and it's like she's floating. You know what I mean? It's one of those where she's just walking and just feeling on top of the world, and you see it. You see it and you believe it, right? I think that's huge here. It is such a fantastic, thing to be able to capture like those raw emotions, and we do get those, right? And just the colors, the camera work. There's this bit where she's at her desk in school and the camera kind of just pans around her and she's just kind of dreaming. I mean, you can just see she's just like dreaming about like her time she's been spending with Elvis. And it's just these kind of things are really bringing you into this film. It's really well done, people. It really is. You know, we also then see how like this whole thing develops, right? Which is, again, crazy, because she's still underage. Still underage. Now, supposedly they don't do anything. They don't have sex, right? So I think, with Priscilla putting that in the book, so you're assuming, okay, that must be true. But again, though, you can see how like these kind of things could be, techniques, right, of snaring someone, right, entrapping someone. I'd be like, no, I'm I when the time is right, I don't want to hurt you. You're special to me. Let's take it slow. I care about you. Right? Just all of these things. You imagine they can make someone feel just like, oh my God. Like my friends have told me about guys and they pressure you. He's not pressuring me. This incredibly famous person is, you know what I mean, just looking after me. And so we see, you know what I mean, you can understand, you can see how she was, drawn in. Now, the thing with memoirs is it's one person's point of view, right? And it's how you interpret events and things that have happened. It doesn't mean it's necessarily exactly how it happens, but I don't think we really, got, as far as I know, Elvis talking on any of that kind of stuff. And I guess he couldn't really, because, he did meet her when she was so young, right? And the question is why? There's a lot of times people will date crazy young people because you have that control over them, right? They don't know any better, so you can dictate events to them. It's like him bringing her out to Graceland. It's separating her from a family, right? So she's got no dependents. The only person she can count on is him. That's it. Right now, the other people, like his grandma and the other people, they're nice to her and all of that, but they are his people, right? So she's on her own, she's isolated. So it is that creepy thing of isolating someone, and now they're mad dependent on you, right? These moments of rage from Elvis that we see, right? That's super, yeah, it's creepy, it's odd, but also it's just like boom, like that. And then it's, you know, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean, I will never hurt you. So we see all of this. Now, the film is just under 2 hours, right? It did seem to kind of meander towards the end. I thought the beginning is super interesting. It's showing, right, this relationship, how it grew, and the interactions and all of that. Now we see these flashes, right? These flashes of rage and the weirdness happening to Elvis. We see the drug use from both, right? But I think the deterioration of the marriage, like, you can understand how it happens, right, and interpret it from the stuff we see, but I felt that there could have been more, right? Because you imagine there must have been more conversations, there must have been more there, but it's not fully. And like, what did the other people in the house say? What did the grandma say? Right? What did you just think oh god, what's the uh, Alberta say? Right? The housekeeper, and just some of the other people. Like, we don't really know, and I imagine you're not going to be in that house and no one say anything. You know what I mean? So I imagine there was other stuff, but we don't really get it, and we don't really get from her how she's feeling. Like, when she leaves, she says stuff, but to that point, right, you can see there is the fear, right? The fear that he's cheating on her, like the jealousy when she sees the pictures from the press of him with other women and stuff like that, right? Making films with women, just all of these things. So we understand she's feeling, you know, jealous, angry, lonely. But yeah, I don't know. As I said, it just feels like it meandered a little bit towards the end. Still a very fascinating film. It looks incredible. Just the costumes, the tone of the film, just everything sucks you into that time period. The music is great, right? The score really works very well. The acting is tremendous. Everyone does a really great job, giving us those emotions, right? Letting you understand what that moment meant. So all of that is fantastic. Is fantastic, people. Um, if you did not get an opportunity to see it today, right, at the festival hall, don't worry, because it will be playing tomorrow, right? Tuesday the 10th at 2:45, again at the Royal Festival Hall, which does feel like a fitting location for this film. It's an incredible venue. It's lovely, right? I saw the Harder They Fall there on the opening day of the festival in 2021, I feel, right? And that was just incredible. So yes, it's a superb venue to go see it. So yeah, people, that is your opportunity if you have not seen it. It's A24 have this film, so I imagine it will be released at some point, but it's always good to see these things on the big screen, people. So yes, if you get the opportunity, grab that ticket. You know what I mean? grab that ticket and have fun, because it's very, very interesting. There you go. Priscilla.